The 2026 World Cup is still months away, but apparently I have too much free time. So instead of waiting for FIFA to tell us who wins, I spent several days building an AI model, feeding it data, and forcing it to play the tournament 5,000 times. Was this a productive use of machine learning? Probably not. Was it fun? Absolutely. And today we're going to find out whether AI thinks England finally brings football home, Brazil wins another title, or somehow Saudi Arabia becomes world champion. To do that, I built an AI model trained on data from previous World Cups and fed it statistics from all 48 qualified teams. Then I simulated the entire tournament thousands of times to find out who wins the World Cup most often, which teams are overrated, which underdogs make deep runs, and what happens in one complete AI-generated tournament. Let's find out. Before we jump into the results, here's how the model actually works. I collected historical World Cup team data from tournaments between 2002 and 2022. For each team, I included information such as goals scored, goals conceded, previous tournament performances. The idea was to capture both the current strength of a team and its historical pedigree. For example, Brazil and France don't just have talented squads. They also have decades of experience performing in high-pressure tournaments. Meanwhile, a team might have a great FIFA ranking but very little World Cup experience. The model tries to learn how all of those factors interact. The goal wasn't to predict exact scores. The goal was much simpler. Given any two teams, estimate the probability that one team beats the other. For example, France 65%, Argentina 35%, Morocco 32%, Portugal 68%. Think of it as creating a virtual bookmaker that has studied every World Cup since 2002. Except instead of setting betting odds, it's helping us simulate an entire tournament. The most interesting part is how the training data was created. I didn't train the model on individual football matches. Instead, I trained it on tournament outcomes. Here's what I mean. Suppose France reached the final in 2018 while England reached the semifinals. France clearly had the better tournament. So I create a comparison between those two teams and ask the model, what differences between these teams might explain why one progressed further? Then I repeat that process thousands of times across multiple World Cups. Eventually, the model starts identifying patterns. Maybe teams with stronger recent records perform better. Maybe experience matters more than people think. The algorithm I used is called XGBoost. It's one of the most widely used machine learning models for structured data competitions and real-world prediction systems. What's important to know is that the model doesn't understand football. It doesn't know tactics. It doesn't know formations. It doesn't know that Messi exists. It only sees numbers and patterns. And from those patterns, it learns to estimate who is more likely to win. Once the model can estimate any matchup, I generate something called a probability matrix. With 48 teams in the tournament, that's more than 2,000 possible matchups. Then comes the fun part, the simulation. Every group stage match is played virtually. If Team A has a 70% chance of beating Team B, they won't win every time. Sometimes an underdog pulls off a shock result, which, if you've watched enough football, sounds pretty realistic. And because a single upset can completely change the bracket, tournaments can quickly spiral into chaos. The AI-generated group stage produced some interesting surprises. Brazil didn't even win its group. Germany finished third in theirs. And one of the biggest shockers was Curaçao finishing top of Group E with a perfect 9 points. Obviously, that doesn't mean Curaçao is secretly the best team in the world. It simply shows that unlikely outcomes can happen in a single simulation. The round of 32 immediately delivered some huge matchups. France versus Brazil, England versus Croatia, Belgium versus Switzerland, Japan versus Uruguay. One by one, the favorites started falling. France was eliminated by Brazil, Portugal was knocked out by Uruguay, Belgium fell to Spain, and somehow, against all odds, Saudi Arabia reached the semifinals. At this point, the tournament had turned into complete madness. Final four were England, Brazil, Spain, Saudi Arabia. Not exactly what most fans would predict. The semifinals gave us England versus Brazil, Spain versus Saudi Arabia. Spain defeated Saudi Arabia, and the AI World Cup final became England versus Spain, two of the strongest teams in world football. The match was close, but according to the simulation, England came out on top and lifted the 2026 World Cup trophy. England are your AI-generated world champions. One simulation is fun, but the real insight comes from 5,000 simulations. Here are the teams with the highest chances of winning. England, 16.1%, France, 12.6%, Uruguay, 11.6%, Spain, 11.1%, Brazil, 6.8%. A few surprises stand out. Uruguay performed incredibly well. Mexico consistently made deep runs. And traditional favorites like Argentina and Portugal won less often than many people might expect. So, can this AI predict the actual 2026 World Cup? Of course, football is too unpredictable. A red card, an injury, a penalty shootout, or a moment of brilliance can completely change everything. But that's exactly why simulations are interesting. They don't tell us what will happen. They tell us what could happen. And according to this AI, England enters the tournament as the most likely champion. Now it's your turn. Which prediction do you agree with? Which one is completely ridiculous? And who do you think will actually win the 2026 World Cup? Let me know in the comments.